Crafting for friends and family today on Hands On.
Hands On is made possible by Elmer's Products, manufacturers of a variety of adhesives, arts and crafts, and office products for use at home, school, or business. Elmers.com. Floorcraft. Floorcraft foam. Make it fun. MakeItFunCrafts.com.
Why keep all of your crafts to yourself? It's fun to make things for your friends and family. Hi, I'm Candie Cooper, and today on Hands On we've got 4 craft ideas that make great gifts, but you might just want to keep them all for yourself. First is a stylish belt made from recycled materials. Then make a pin cushion for your favorite sewer, maybe Mom? Then it's a coffee cozy for hot beverages. How about for Dad? And finally, a handmade tree vase for just about anyone. So let's start with this belt. It's adjustable to any size and lots of color choices to make. You can see I've used some really familiar materials, and that is a pop tab. So let's take a look at what else you'll need to make this cute little belt. You're going to need some plastic lacing in whatever colors you want, but I've used 3 different colors for mine. Then you'll need some beads, some lanyards in small and large, pop tabs of course, and I'm going to show you a fun idea to use with your paint pens later. You'll also need some scissors. So the first thing I've done is cut 3 colors of lacing. And I would say you want to start with about a yard, but you should check the size of your waist first. Then you're going to come to the end and make an overhand knot. So I'm just going to fold it over. This is where it helps to give yourself a little extra room when you do your initial measurement of your waist. And then you're just going to make an overhand knot, tucking all the pieces through the loop, and then pull it really, really snug. Okay, that should do it. The next thing you're going to do is clip on a lanyard. And I've got one ready right here. Once you get your lanyard clipped in place, what I suggest is taping it down. And this is so it doesn't wiggle all over the place when you're doing your braiding. The other thing you can do to keep all of your ends together is put a piece of masking tape over it and kind of twist it. And this makes it so you almost have a needle at the end of your plastic lacing. So now it's time to just start stringing your pop tabs on. And what I recommend is that you keep the same side facing up each time. So you're going to come through the first hole and then go down through the next hole and slide it up. And then once you get going, you're going to want to kind of organize your pieces. See how they're all kind of twisted? You could leave them like that, but for the one I made, I like to keep them all nice and straight so you can see all the pretty colors. So we'll just do that again, and you're going to come through the first hole and then back down to the second hole. And you're just going to keep stringing these, and it'll get easier as you go because we'll get our pieces organized. And you just want to put them so that they lay side by side. And my pieces are a little bit twisted. Let's get those organized again. But this is a great project to invite your friends over and sit around the craft table and make these belts. So when you're finished, you're going to have something that looks like this. And you can see all my pieces are side by side and all my colors are flat like a ribbon running through all the pop tabs. To finish the end, you're going to grab a smaller lanyard, string it onto all of your pieces, and tie it in a really snug knot, like this. And you just want to make sure that when you tie your knot, that you get it really, really, really snug, because you don't want it coming undone while you're wearing it. So I'm just going to pull on that a little bit, and then you're going to repeat. And that just about completes our belt. Now you could leave it just like this, but if you want to jazz it up a little bit, you can add some beads. And I've got some really cool glow-in-the-dark beads actually here. And so you can slide these onto your pieces like so. And then for the one I have here, you can make a knot in between each bead to give you a little space so your beads will go up and down. And you'll just do this for all 3 pieces. And then you can tie it off where you can make it, you know, however long you like so. And then you'll just tie it off and put it on. I want to show you one last idea, and that's this little bracelet. And what I did that's different on the belt is I actually used a paint marker, like the one I have here, to draw some little notches along the side. And so you just want to shake up your paint marker and make a few notches. And of course you could do a ton of these for your belt as well, and just leave it at that. You could add as many colors as you want. What sewer wouldn't love this great flower pincushion? It's easy to make and is also a really cute decoration. Let's take a look at what we need to make it. You'll want a recycled sweater, some stencils, and especially the heart stencil from this pack, green and yellow craft felt, some ribbon about 1 inch wide, buttons, straight pins, a pencil, some scissors, a 3-inch foam ball, a teacup, and some tacky glue. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is trace your leaf pattern twice onto your green craft felt. And for the pattern, you can find that information on our website, as well as the instructions to make this flower pin cushion. So you're going to trace this on twice and then cut it out. The next thing you're going to do is grab your heart stencil and cut it, or trace and cut out 7 hearts. I'm just going to lay my stencil on here and use my pencil to just lightly make my design. Once you cut out all 7 hearts, you should have a stack about like this. You can start gluing them to the inside of your cup. And I've got one that I've already started. And you can see I've went ahead and put a leaf on. And now I'm going to use my really thick tacky glue to attach all of these hearts. So let's just turn this a little bit so I can see what we're doing and make a line. And we'll go ahead and put our leaf first so that the leaf actually sits underneath the petals of our flower. Isn't that cute how the hearts actually look like a flower when you put them all together? Okay, now let's talk a little bit about how to make the pink center of the flower. Now I've gone ahead and cut the sleeve from the sweater. The next thing you're going to do is open it up by cutting open one seam. And this one is already ready to go. Now you're going to just grab the craft glue and then put a line of glue around the bottom third of the styrofoam ball. You want to make sure it's nice and heavy. And then you can lay your sweater piece over the top and then make sure you pull it nice and snug and then trim your excess from the bottom once that dries. And I've got one ready right here, and just take a look. It's all nice and stretched over the ball. The next thing you're going to do is put another line of glue around the inside of the hearts. And when I think about this, and all the sweaters I've seen at the secondhand stores, you could make a bouquet of pin cushions out of a ton of different sweaters. And these would make a really cute centerpiece for a party as well. You don't have to make them a pin cushion. And then see, I'm just dropping the foam ball down into the center of the cup. We're almost done. Let's embellish the side of the flower with a few buttons. And you just drop some glue down on the sides. We're using these really pretty contrasting aqua buttons. And I'm going to just put the buttons, you can put them in a row, but I'm kind of just putting them in the center of my heart petals. And your buttons can match, or you can mix and match buttons, whatever you have. And you'll just keep going around. And then let's finish it off with some polka dot ribbon that matches these heart ribbons really, really well. This is actually ribbon that has wire in it, so it'll hold its shape when it goes around the cup. So where's my handle here? We want the bow to sit right on top of the handle. So we'll just tie it around, and you're going to tie one knot, like so. And then make your first loop, make another loop, or loop around, and now make your second loop. And pull your two ends. And then you're going to kind of fluff out your bows here a little bit, your loops, so it looks pretty. And where's my scissors? Let's trim that extra long end at an angle. And we'll trim the other end. And now all we need are some pins to turn it into a real pin cushion. And I've got those right here. You can use any color you have, or you can drop in some yellow polka dotted ones like I am here. And these really set off the center of your flower. Super cute. I love it.
Hot beverages stay hot and your hands stay cool with this little cup cozy. They're so cute, and they're made out of recycled sweaters. So let me tell you what we'll need. I've got some glitter pens, I have some scraps of felt, I have some cut-off sleeves from some old recycled sweaters, plastic lacing and buttons, some markers, thread, even some stencils, and an all-purpose glue, and I have my pin cushion from Candie from the last segment, and also some cups, of course. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is to pick a sweater. And you want to have something that's got a narrow enough sleeve so that it's going to fit over a cup. We're going to cut a little section off. And it's important to use like a really tight knit, because then that's not going to unravel. And I'm using really nice sharp scissors. So I've got one, let's do the blue one, and let's also cut off a white one, because we're going to make a couple different cozies. These would be great gifts for teachers. And we also have some leftover pink from the last project, and I'm going to cut that off from the bottom instead, and we're going to glue that one together. So that could be for a larger mug. Okay, so we've got our materials set. Now let's decide how we're going to decorate. Now in this first one, the blue one, I'm going to move this so I've got a center section to work on. I'm going to work with stars. So I've taken my star templates, I'm going to lay it out on my orange and my purple, and I've made it dark, but I'm going to use that as the back side. So let's cut those out. You could do any design you want, like a heart would work, a star. If you were making this for a teacher, a school color would be great. I'm going to cut out my shapes. Flowers are always a favorite too. And cut in. And I'm going to layer different colors. So we're going to put the purple star on the bottom. Let's cut an orange one out. Now, once we get our shapes cut out, then we're going to start embellishing, and we can embellish in all different ways. We could use stickers, we can use markers, glitter pen, buttons, even some stitching. So we're going to do a simple running stitch too. Okay, so now I've got my 2 stars layered. Oops, this one's, let me trim that one off just a little bit. And here. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of put those side, twist it so the stars are in between each other. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a button. Let's grab a bright blue, and I'm going to grab some of my plastic lacing. What I found is really easy. If you want to tie a bow in lacing is to put a button through, because then you have kind of something to grab onto. So I'm going to pull that up, make a knot, and then I can tie a little bow. And we'll trim that off. And before we go too far, let's glue all of this down. So I'm going to put a dab of glue in the center, and I'm using an all-purpose glue because it will go on this porous surface. Put the purple down, then the orange, kind of make that off center, oops, and glue the button on top. Okay, so that could be my first cozy. So let's make another one. Okay, I've got my white sleeve. This one I'm going to use my thread. I'm going to stitch this one on. So let's come up from the back, pull my thread through. Then I'm going to go through a little scrap of green felt and through the orange button. And then back down through the orange and through the green. Now, if you were taking your time at home, you'd make a lot of stitches to really secure this down, but I'm going to just leave one stitch here so you can get the idea. And then let's come back with some stickers. I'm going to put blue on the corners here, and you could add a touch of glue there as well. And I'm going to take a blue glitter and make a dot pattern. And we'll dot this around. Now this would be a great gift for your dad. And as I said, it's great for a teacher. Lots of people drink coffee or tea, and it makes a nice little cozy. You could put it with a thermal cup, or you might want to pair it with a coffee mug, or even just on a plastic cup. And that's cozy number 2. And finally, just as an added idea, if you have an extra sweater piece like this, where it's the bottom of the sweater, you're going to turn it, put right sides together, and add your glue here on the inside. Loop this around, and then turn it right side out. And of course, you're going to want to let that dry a little bit longer. But again, you can add any kind of embellishment on top, and then you have a great finished cozy.
Here's the perfect gift for nature lovers and outdoor enthusiasts. These are actually vases that I've turned into the trunk of a tree and kind of like a stem for a flower. So let's see what you'll need to make these vases. You're going to start with a glass vase, some plaster cloth, a sponge, brushes, scissors, acrylic paint, and some blue gel glue. Now I'm going to show you today how to make the tree vase, but you can make the green one. The two are made exactly the same. So we're going to start with our vase, and the first thing you're going to do is take the plaster cloth. This is exactly how it comes, and you're just going to kind of lay your vase on top of the cloth and cut so that it's just a touch bigger than your actual vase. And then you're going to cut this piece into strips. And I'm going to guess that you need about 20 strips per vase. And I'm just cutting these, roughly 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch wide. It doesn't matter. The more variety, the more interesting it will look when you put them all together. Now to use plaster cloth, all you're going to do is dip each strip into a little bit of water, and this is almost like paper mache, and then you just lay them down the side of your glass vase, like so. And you can just keep putting them next to each other, and you're just gonna smooth them out as you go. And then for the corners, you kind of want to choose a piece of cloth that's a little bit wider, like this one I have here, because you can just lay it right over the corner and then just kind of squish it around the sides like that. And then what you would do is just keep going around the entire vase form, and then you'll have something like this. So now, at this point you could paint yours brown or green. We're going to paint ours brown. And I should also tell you, this takes about overnight to dry, but you could also speed it up with the hairdryer. So I'm going to go ahead and start painting this green, and you'll see that this still has, I'm actually using brown, and you'll see that this still has all the texture from that really cool plaster cloth. And I'm using a lot of paint to sort of get into all those cracks and crevices. But you could also add a little bit of water to your paint and just let it seep in so you can see all the texture. It's up to you. It's your vase, so you can make it however you like. And that looks kind of neat. Once you get your entire vase coated with brown paint, leave it to dry, and that shouldn't take too long, maybe about an hour. And the next thing I'm going to show you is actually how to sponge paint. And sponge painting is really fun because there's no rules and it's really easy. So I've got a sea sponge right here, and this actually sea sponges come in kind of a big round ball, but you can cut it with scissors like this to make any size of sponge that you want. Okay, and you can use any side of the sponge to paint with. Let me clear off my counter here a little bit. So I've got a vase that I've been working on. It's nice and dry. And the next thing you're going to do is I've mixed a little bit of white and brown paint together, but I'm going to add a little bit more brown because did you know that if you want to make a lighter shade of a color, you just add brown. And I'm just mixing these a little bit here as we go on my palette. And that looks really good. Just go ahead and keep adding white to your brown until you're happy with the color you have. And then you're going to blot most of the paint off. In fact, this one, since I've been using it to mix, I'm just going to grab a new sponge and pick up some paint. And now I can start adding some texture to my tree trunk. And it doesn't take much paint on your sponge to create all of this texture. You could add as many colors as you want, like some black, maybe some green, whatever you want. You could put little dots with the end of your paintbrush. Really anything goes, but you want to make sure that you get all around the top of the vase like this and down all of the sides. Once you get that entirely coated, now we're going to put a nice glaze over the whole thing to make it really shiny. And even though this glue looks blue, when you paint, or when you see it, when you paint it, it actually looks clear. So to make your vase shiny, you can just add a layer of this glue. And then that almost makes it look like glass. And that is how you make a tree trunk vase. Now, to fill your vase, you just go out into your backyard, and it's probably a good idea to ask permission before you start cutting on one of your bushes or trees, but you can just put a regular tree branch in like the one I have here. But to add a little extra special something to make it fun, I want to show you a little trick. I've got some monkey stickers right here, and you just peel them off and put them on some cardstock. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but then what you're going to do is just cut around the monkey shape like the ones I have here. And then I've got some miniature clothespins, and you can just clip your monkey in a tree. And I've got a whole bunch of them so he can have all his monkey friends monkeying around in this tree vase. Now let's take a look at this other vase I made that has a green stem. For it, all I've done is added a little bit of glitter pens to some felt. I strung them on some plastic lacing, wrapped them around this vase, and now it looks like these flowers are growing right out of this vase. Thanks for watching. I hope at least one of today's crafts turns into a gift, though we won't tell if you keep them all for yourself. Next time, all of our crafts have something to do with the outdoors. Hope you'll stop by to craft with us.
Projects and ideas from today's show, plus hundreds of other kids' craft projects for every occasion, season, and even school subject are available on the web at craftsforkids.com. This is show 1409. A DVD set of all 13 episodes of Hands-On Crafts for Kids, Crafting Every Day, Series 1400, is available for $39.99 plus shipping and handling. Visit craftsforkids.com to order. Make crafting a part of every day with Hands-On. Hands-On is made possible by Elmer's Products, manufacturers of a variety of adhesives, arts and crafts, and office products for use at home, school, or business. Elmers.com. Floracraft. Floracraft foam. Make it fun. MakeItFunCrafts.com.